I heard a staggering statistic today, and that is 90% of coaches fail. And I am literally on a mission to change that statistic, right? I want to help you succeed in what you're doing. And a lot of this failure, I would say, comes from a lack of leads in your business. Hello and welcome to Chaos to Clarity, the podcast that's your compass to navigate the exciting world of service-based businesses. If you're a determined woman in your current business adventure, striving to conquer the chaos and build your empire, then you are in the right place. I'm your host, Maggie, your go-to business bestie and chaos navigator. I've spent nearly 2 decades in the service-based industry, building a photography business, a yoga studio, and now a thriving coaching practice. I've cracked the code to consistent income without all the chaos and noise. So get ready to increase your business growth, connect with your ideal clients, and find ease in both business and in life. It's time to turn your frustrations into inspiration and your chaos into clarity. So go ahead and grab your coffee, a pen and paper, and let's dive into the journey of building your dream service-based business together. Are you ready? Let's go. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Chaos to Clarity podcast. My name is Maggie. I am your business bestie, your Chaos to Clarity coach, and the host of this podcast. And today I want to say, number one, welcome to 2024. I feel like I say this every single year, but how did we get here? What day is it? And I cannot even believe that 2023 is over and here we are stepping into the new year. So something that I have been doing a lot of recently is reflections on my business. And if we are connected on Instagram or on Facebook, you'll know that last week I went live 3 days, and I went live for 3 days talking about my wins. I talked about learning and pivoting in 2023, and then I also talked about setting positive intentions for 2024. And I did that because next week, coming up in my Facebook group, I am hosting a 3-day challenge, a 3-day lead generation challenge. Now, I am hosting this lead generation challenge in January because I really want you to literally unlock your coaching potential. I heard a staggering statistic today, and that is 90% of coaches fail. And I am literally on a mission to change that statistic, right? I want to help you succeed in what you're doing. And a lot of this failure, I would say, comes from a lack of leads in your business. And the lack of leads comes from probably not having enough conversations or not having the right types of conversations. And this challenge that I'm hosting, the Lead Gen by Design challenge, is going to address some of those problems. It's going to help you figure out where your barriers are and what you're not doing and what you can do instead. Now, a lot of the Lead Gen by Design challenge is going to be focused on social media because a lot of times social media can be a really, really great place to connect with leads. And I just want to say this, that social media is literally just one way that you can go out and connect with leads. But I know so many people who are on social media, and I always hear them saying, oh, the algorithm hates me. And I just want to say the algorithm does not hate you. It does not hate you. In fact, it probably wants to help you, but you are not letting it help you, right? So you're kind of standing in your own way. Now, last week when I went live, I talked about my wins for 2023. And I just want to say that my wins for 2023, when I actually took the time to write them down, look through them, and let them sink in, I was so proud of myself. And that was probably one of the best things I could do in that week between Christmas and New Year's, where everything is a blur and nobody knows what day it is. right? So last year, I just want to go over briefly some of what I talked about in these 3 lives in case you didn't tune into them. So last year in 2023, I doubled my income from 2022 into 2023. And when I realized that, my mind was blown. Because I am not going to lie, I'd been having a rough month, right? December is a rough month for my business because there is so much in my personal life going on, right? Lots of Christmas celebrations, my daughter's birthday, taking basically a week off between the holidays, right? And just planning for all of that stuff. In fact, I would argue to say that November and December in both of my businesses is a very chaotic time, right? Between business and life. It gets to January 1 and I'm like, how did we get here this fast? So something that I talked about in these lives was, okay, yes, I had this win. I doubled my income in 2023. I quadrupled the amount of people that I helped, that I coached in 2023. I connected with so many amazing people. I basically went viral in a few Facebook groups. I created a podcast. I stuck with the podcast. I interviewed 36 amazing people. I started reaching out to 2024 guests. I am halfway booked for 2024. And I mean, really, the list keeps going on and on, right? So I had a lot to celebrate, and I allowed myself that time to celebrate. I also looked at what didn't go great in 2023. What was I expecting to happen that didn't happen, right? And there are a bunch of financial goals that I didn't reach, but that doesn't mean I'm going to stop, right? And here's the thing. This is why 90% of people fail. They set these audacious, crazy ass goals and then they don't hit them, right? And then they get discouraged and they're like, oh, this isn't working. But it actually is working, right? So figuring out what your celebrations are, what are the things that you accomplished, that lead with that, right? Lead with that in mind. But also with the challenges you faced, with the things that you didn't quite make it, don't stop there. Give yourself a plan, right? Reassess what you're doing and come at it from a different angle, because most often, if you can shift into a different angle, shift and look at things just a little bit differently, chances are you'll have a completely different outcome. And I want you to remember that, right? When you are pivoting, and the pivot does not have to be huge, okay? I also want you to remember that when people are like, I'm pivoting my whole entire business. Oh, that makes me want to cry. And don't get me wrong. There is a time and place for a total 180 pivot. I have been there. I have done the pivots. And if you are in that season of pivot, trust me, I know what you're going through, right? I know how it feels. And shameless plug, right? I can help you if you need help in that huge pivot. And I can also help you if you need some micro pivots, some smaller pivots, right? Maybe you just need to speak a little bit differently in your content to attract the right kind of client, right? It can be that simple, right? It can also be, let's burn everything down and come up with a whole new foundational base and build your business on that, right? You can do one or both of those things. So as you look at your wins, as you look at your challenges, then start to give yourself some actions, right? Look at the challenges, okay? So when I sat down and I looked at my challenges, I wanted to help, I think it was 20 people, okay? And I didn't meet that number. But I also looked at how many conversations did I have where I was offering to do something, right? Whether that's hop on a clarity call, a 20-minute, like, can I help you call? How many times did I reach out to people on my friends list and say, hey, I see these things on your profile. If you switch that or update that, right? A profile audit. How many of those did I do, right? And And I started going through the actions that I took, and I realized something. And I know a lot of people get stuck in this. I got stuck in the busyness of my business. And I allowed myself to stay stuck in that wormhole. I allowed myself to stay stuck in this space of, oh my gosh, I have no clients for months, right? For months, I allowed myself to stay stuck there and then wondered, why don't I have any clients, right? So as I was realizing that, as I was writing down all of these things, I started to set some positive intentions for myself, some things that I can move forward with in my business that will help me step into my best year yet, right? Into my best self to move forward. And I did that by making a list of what is possible, right? And I think there's so much that we put on our goals, right? We put so much like emphasis on them, and not that we shouldn't, okay? But here's the thing. When you write down some of these goals and they're big and they're audacious and they're scary and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do this. Come back to what is possible, okay? It's possible for me to be consistent. It's possible for me to mess up and to move forward. It's possible for me to make money in my business. It's possible for me to repay the things I need to repay, right? It's possible for me to grow something from nothing. So I started answering that question when I started doing these positive intentions, right? What is possible? What is possible for me? It's possible for me to be consistent in a way that is only for me, right? I think so many people get stuck in the mess, again, in the busyness of business. They get stuck being busy and they forget to do what actually matters, right? You're busy creating funnels, you're busy creating content, you're busy creating all the things, and we stop making offers. And something for me that I definitely need to lean in more is it's possible for me to make an offer every day, right? It's possible for me to make some sort of offer. And now before you go all bro marketer on me, that's not what I'm talking about. An offer, right? If you're in the DMs, if you're having a conversation, whether that's in the DMs or on a call, right? An offer can be anything from, hey, do you want to sign up for my newsletter, my email list? I send out all the best deals on that list. To that list, they hear about it first, right? Or do you want to join my Facebook group? It's a free community. I give advice in this group. Okay, or maybe it's a paid for offer. Maybe it's a low level opt-in like my mini course. Hey, do you want to have viral conversations that convert? Go grab my mini course. It's $44, right? It's going to help you. It will help you in 1 hour. In 1 hour, you will be having better conversations. Okay, and obviously it can go up and up and up from there, right? It can go from those mini offers to the like macro offers. And I want you to keep that in mind as you're moving forward into 2024. So I did these 3 lives, right? And these 3 lives were really a way for me to end the year and reflect on the old and bring in the new, which is where this 3-day free challenge, I'm hosting it in my Facebook group, and the link to the Facebook group is down below in the show notes. So if you're not already part of my Facebook community, please go ahead and get in there because this challenge is going to be in there. You can also click the link below to sign up for the challenge and the workshop. So I'm going to get into a little bit of what the challenge is about, and then I'm also going to dive into a little bit of what the workshop is about, because I think it's important for you to understand both, right? And again, you'll be able to click the link and read it for yourself. But what the 3-day free challenge is all about is helping you to really unlock your coaching potential, right? I want you to step into 2024. You've made these shiny new intentions, these shiny new goals. I want you to reach those goals, or at least get out there and start taking action. That is what this challenge is meant to do. It's meant to help you start taking action in your business. Because why do 90% of businesses fail? Or 90% of coaches fail? Because they don't take the action. They're stuck in the busyness and they're not taking the action that they say they want to take. Okay? So day one, we're going to talk about unlocking your coaching potential. We're going to really get into like, what is that transformation? What is that unique strength that you have, and how can you leverage it for maximum impact? Okay, and I know you might be saying, oh my gosh, everybody does this, but here's the difference between me and them, right? Like, I genuinely want to make sure that you know what your strength is. And if you don't, I want to help you figure that out. So day one, we're going to take a look at your offer and make sure that it is positioned correctly, right? Figure out, what is your unique transformation? What is that vehicle? What is the thing that you do that helps people get what they want? And how can you start talking about it, right? And here's the thing, when you're starting to have these conversations, you want to be talking about, oh yes, I help people lose 5 pounds in a month without the crazy fad diets. And people are going to be like, oh, tell me more, right? Or, whatever it is you're doing, okay? So the second day of the free workshop, again, this free workshop is next week, January 8th through the 10th. You can sign up below, and I highly, highly suggest you sign up below, because I'm sending out a free workbook to anyone who is on the email list for this workshop. So the day 2 is going to focus on viral conversations and mastering them. So I am going to kind of dive into the key principles that I teach in the mini course, Viral Conversations That Convert. So if you've opted into that, you can go ahead and just run through that one more time. If you haven't, then you definitely need to sign up for either that mini course and or the workshop, because the workshop includes that mini course. So day 2 of the free challenge, we're going over viral conversations that convert. We're going over those key principles to help you craft a compelling message, right? To craft a message that starts to get results. Figure out, what are your engagement posts? Figure out, what are your value posts? And for the love of all that is holy, start making offer posts, right? So many people do not make an offer post ever, whether that's to join your group for free, or I have 3 seats open for my $5,000 coaching program, right? So many people are not, they're not making offers. And then nobody realizes, oh, you have an offer? I didn't realize that. Okay. In business, you will get so sick of telling people what your prices are long before anyone ever realizes that. And I say that with 16 years of business under my belt, right? I'm going into my 17th year in business, and it will never cease to amaze me that people still ask me the simplest of questions, right? And for a while, I would say about 10 years ago, I got really annoyed with it, because I'm like, my guy, the prices are online. They are online, wide open spaces out there. But here's the thing, people want what's easy. So if you're right there and they're like, how much are your photography packages? Instead of just saying, well, you can go look online, I can say, oh, I can create a custom quote for you, but generally they start around this price point. Let's have a conversation. That is a conversation point for you to have, right? So day 2, we're going to talk about conversations and how to develop that knack of conversing. Day 3 of the free challenge. This is all free, by the way, right? So I did the 3 free days on Facebook and Instagram last week. And then next week, the 8th through the 10th, January 8th through 10, 2024, I'm hosting a free challenge in my Facebook group. And this is the stuff we're going over, okay? So day 1, what is your shiny unicorn strength, your coaching potential, right? What is that thing you do? Day 2 is viral conversations, right? How to have those conversations where people are asking you, what is the price of your stuff? Okay. And then day 3 is leaping into success, right? Jumping into success. And we're going to go over strategies that will really help you shift your conversations into clients, and you're going to start overcoming the hurdles, right? So that is what the 3-day free challenge looks like. And I'm going to give you some prompts and some things on day 3 to help you kind of write out a script, right? I can give you the script that I have, but quite honestly, it's not, well, I shouldn't say it's not. It might not work as well for you as it does for me, but I can give you the prompts that will help you figure out what your script can look like, right? Even if it's just bullet points for you to talk about. So we're going to outline a plan of action for you to really kind of help drive your leads into sales. So that's the 3-day free challenge. And then after that, I am hosting a workshop, a 2-day workshop the following week on the 17th and 18th. And what that is, that workshop is going to revolve around setting goals and intentions for sure for quarter 1. Okay, so here is my take on like New Year's resolutions. Like, you can set a big, crazy goal, but if you don't plan out some of the actions or the roadmap, you're probably not going to hit your goal. So what did I learn from last week when I did my kind of 2023 year in review? I learned I needed to take some more action steps, right? So even for someone who has been in the game for almost 20 years, right? I've been in business of some sort, going on 17 years. I learned that I need to be a little bit more detailed in my actions, right? I need to shift my actions just a little bit in order to achieve the goals that I want to achieve. And oftentimes it is that easy, right? The shifts can be that small and that simple where you are really, truly maximizing your results. So workshop day 1 is going to be setting goals and intentions, right? We're going to get really clear on what it is you want to do and how you can kind of break that up into 2024, right? If you want to earn $100,000 in 2024, well, that averages to be right around $8,000 a month, right? But saying, oh my gosh, I need $8,000 in January, how is that going to happen? Right? Let's break that down. And maybe in January, you don't earn 8,000. Maybe you earn 1,000 in January. Or maybe it's 5,000, right? But then how can you grow? How can you maximize that so that month 2, maybe instead of 1,000, you're earning 2,000. Or maybe instead of 5,000, you're earning 10,000, right? And you're doubling it. And that is what this workshop is going to talk about, right? You're going to have time to set goals, set intentions. There's going to be a workbook involved for the workshop, right? You're going to get viral conversations that convert, the mini course. And then on day 2, you're going to craft an action plan to make those goals come to life, right? And we're going to create an action plan for like quarter 1, quarter 2. But you'll be able to take what you learned in this workshop and apply it to the rest of the year. So yes, I'm teaching you this right now for quarter 1, quarter 2, but these are things that I use every year, every quarter in my business in order to start hitting the goals that I want to hit. And now, like I said, last year I didn't hit the goals that I wanted to hit because I didn't have a detailed enough action plan. Now, I'm also not saying that you have to have such a detailed action plan where it's like, wake up, do this, do that. You certainly can, but you don't need to, right? For me, it really comes down to I need to reach out to more people each day, right? I don't necessarily have to post every day, but I need to make my intention clearer so that I'm talking to more of my ideal clients every single day and less of the people that I can do collaborations with. Yes, collaborations are great, amazing. I preach from the stars about collaborations and referral partners. But for me, this year in business, my focus is serving clients, right? Not necessarily collaborating. I love collaborating. And don't get me wrong, I'm doing a lot of collaborations, right? But I'm leveraging that in order to connect with new potential clients. So I want you to keep that in mind. And that's all stuff that we're going over in the workshop, right? So when you're setting your goals, when you're setting your intentions, when you're crafting your action plan, but also when you're creating kind of like a plan for your plan, right? And I know that sounds like a lot of planning, but I will say, when you have your action plan, I'm going to take these actions on these days, right? I'm going to talk to 3 to 5 people who are my ideal clients Monday through Friday. It can be that small. And if you get into a, cycle of, oh, I'll just do that tomorrow, right? How can you work into your action plan something that will bump you back into getting on the consistency, right? Because that's also why 90% of businesses fail, is because they're not consistent. But most business owners have not set up a consistency plan for themselves. So that's where I'm going to end it today. I hope this was helpful. Let me know, send me a DM, reach out to me. Let me know if you want to come hang out with me next week. And as always, if something hit for you, let me know on Instagram. Send me a DM. Send this to someone who needs to hear this. Like, share, subscribe, all the things, rate, review. I love reading your reviews. And I cannot wait to connect with you soon.